While America was distracted, a quiet energy revolution was unfolding to our north. Today, July 11, 2025, the United States is no longer the dominant supplier of liquefied natural gas to Asia. That title now belongs to Canada. This isn't a forecast, it's reality, confirmed by the International Energy Agency and commodity trackers. Canadian LNG carriers now deliver more volume to Japan, South Korea, and China than American ones. This shift was years in the making, the result of a focused Canadian strategy while the US was mired in domestic squabbles. Just 3 years ago, the US was the world's top LNG exporter, with a growing Asian market share. Now, US market share in Asia has dropped by over 15 percentage points, replaced by Canada's surge. The game changer, Canada's LNG Canada project in Kitimat, British Columbia, with its Pacific Coast location slashing shipping times to Asia. This isn't just about lost market share, it's a failure of American strategic foresight. We assumed our energy dominance was permanent and neglected the investments and relationships needed to maintain it. Canada saw Asia's need for cleaner, reliable energy and built the capacity to deliver. They seized the opportunity, reshaping global energy maps. The consequences go beyond economics. They touch geopolitics and national security. By supplying Asia's largest economies, Canada is forging deep, lasting partnerships, the same ones the US spent decades cultivating. As our LNG exports dwindle, so does our influence in critical regional conversations. We're witnessing a quiet erosion of American power, one LNG tanker at a time, and we barely noticed it happening. Canada's rise wasn't luck, it was strategy. The LNG Canada project, a $40 billion venture backed by global energy giants, had guaranteed buyers from day one. The Canadian government created a stable investment climate, streamlining regulations and working with First Nations to avoid legal delays. While the US got bogged down in politics, Canada built consensus and delivered results. Kitimat's Pacific location means LNG carriers reach Tokyo in under 10 days, half the time from the US Gulf Coast. This translates to lower shipping costs, fewer emissions, and greater reliability for Asian customers. Canada didn't just build an LNG plant, they built a direct, efficient energy superhighway to Asia. No grandstanding, just relentless execution, infrastructure, financing, long-term contracts. While America debated, Canada acted. The lesson is clear: strategy, stability, and execution matter more than rhetoric. That's how you lead in the global economy. Canada's rise is inseparable from America's distraction. We didn't lose our leadership to a superior rival, we gave it up. Political infighting and regulatory gridlock paralyzed vital US energy projects. Endless debates over climate policy stalled progress, while Canada moved forward with practical solutions. The recent pause on new LNG export permits sent shockwaves through the market, signaling US unpredictability. Investors fled uncertainty, and Canada's clear path became their preferred choice. Our energy policy became a casualty of culture wars, with no pragmatic middle ground. While America argued, Canada signed long-term supply contracts. Asia's allies saw Canada as reliable, the US as unpredictable. Our self-inflicted wounds created a vacuum, and Canada filled it. The world won't wait for us to resolve our internal conflicts. The cost of inaction is real: lost contracts, lost capital, and lost credibility. LNG Canada's client list includes Asia's industrial giants, Japan's JERA, South Korea's Kogus, and PetroChina. These are multi-decade deals that once would have gone to US producers. When Asian buyers had to choose between Canada's certainty and America's uncertainty, the decision was easy. Billions in future revenue and investment are now flowing north. Canada's LNG boom is attracting massive foreign investment, with more projects underway. These funds could have built new US terminals, but investors saw too many roadblocks here. Our close for business signal has damaged our credibility as a reliable energy partner. For years, US LNG was a cornerstone of foreign policy. Now, our reliability is in question. Pausing approvals and letting politics derail projects tells the world our commitments aren't ironclad. Trust, once lost, is hard to regain. Canada is now seen as the more reliable supplier. That perception will be tough to reverse. Canada's success is rooted in solving a major logistical challenge: the Panama Canal. For US Gulf Coast exporters, the canal is a costly, congested bottleneck. Canada's Pacific Coast LNG terminal in Kitimat bypasses the canal entirely, cutting shipping times to Asia in half. This means lower costs, a smaller carbon footprint, and greater reliability for buyers. Canada made logistics a core part of its national strategy, focusing on efficiency, not just production. The US failed to replicate this, with West Coast projects stalled by opposition and red tape. Our export strategy remains tied to the Gulf Coast and the Canal, one logistical basket. Canada built a better, faster, more reliable route. Their foresight has given them a durable edge. We're left playing catch-up. The real cost of lost LNG leadership is felt by American workers and communities. The LNG boom created tens of thousands of skilled jobs, pipe fitters, engineers, port operators, in states like Louisiana and Texas. Now, with investment shifting to Canada, new U.S. projects are drying up. Job growth projections have been slashed, expansions put on hold, and projects cancelled. Each lost project means thousands of lost jobs and struggling local economies. Hotels, restaurants, and small businesses that thrived during the boom are now hurting. Tax revenues are falling, and anxiety is rising in Gulf Coast communities. These towns are paying the price for Washington's gridlock. We can't abandon these workers. Retraining and support are essential. Investing in technical colleges and apprenticeships is a matter of economic justice and national strength. A nation that neglects its workforce can't lead globally. The human cost of inaction is too high to ignore. Losing LNG market share in Asia is a geopolitical defeat, not just a commercial one. Canada is embedding itself in Asia's economy, building relationships that create powerful diplomatic leverage. As Canadian LNG replaces American and Asian ports, our influence in regional affairs shrinks. Japan, once reliant on U.S. energy, now deepens ties with Canada. Our diminished role weakens our ability to counter rivals like Russia and the Middle East. U.S. LNG was a tool for supporting allies and reducing their dependence on authoritarian regimes. By failing to maintain leadership, we weaken our partners' energy security and our own. The Indo-Pacific is the epicenter of global competition. Energy is a critical part of that partnership. Letting our leadership slip undermines our grand strategy. Our inaction at home is having dangerous consequences abroad. The situation is urgent, but not irreversible. America still has the resources, workforce, and expertise to lead. What's missing is clarity and national will. We must end political paralysis and forge a pragmatic, unified energy strategy. Regulatory certainty is key. Streamline permitting, set clear standards, and end the pause on export approvals. Treat energy infrastructure as a national priority. Reinvest in ports, pipelines, and workforce retraining. Prepare workers for the jobs of the future, sharing the benefits of a revitalized sector. This demands bold leadership and national unity. Supporting LNG exports to displace coal in Asia strengthens our economy and alliances. Global leadership must be earned every day. Let today be the moment we begin reclaiming America's energy future.